Hey, I'm Perch, and I'm on a mission to complete old school RuneScape. So I've set up camp at Tempoross because I need to complete it for my series, and I thought while I'm here I'd do a quick guide on the Firefighter Method. It's roughly double the points per hour compared to the mass world, so effectively it halves your time for the pet. You do need Humidify for this method, so you're going to need 68 magic and the Lunar Spellbook. An Infernal Harpoon isn't strictly required, but you'll get less permits without it. If you haven't got the Spirit Angler set, then bring a rope. And I use the offhand Imcando hammer. If you don't have this, a regular hammer is fine as well. In your inventory, you want some buckets of water. I bring 8. You want your rune pouch for Humidify, and you want 19 free inventory slots. So we're going to break the fight down into 6 parts, and I'll put timestamps in the description for each of these. I recommend watching the full run first, and then you can go back if you need to. Okay, when the game begins, we need 17 cooked fish. So let's head down and start fishing. We'll catch 9 or 10 and then we can go and cook them while we wait for the double fishing spot. Once the double fishing spot spawns, we're going to head over and catch the rest of the fish. When you've got your 17 fish, you can go back and cook the rest. I've actually got 19 here, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So anytime now, a colossal wave's going to spawn. So get ready to tie yourself to the totem pole. You can usually cook another couple of fish before you head to the totem pole, but if you want to be safe, then head there early. Once the wave has passed, you can cook the rest of the fish. So like I mentioned, I've got 19 fish here, and that's fine, but it means I'll have to remember to stop loading when there's 2 in my inventory. Remember, only load 17 fish for part 1. Any more than that and it will ruin the method. At around 30% storm intensity, the storm clouds will appear. If your Infernal Harpoon went nuclear and you're ready to load the cannon earlier, wait until about 25% storm intensity before you start loading your fish, because you do need the fires to spawn for the method to work. Once you've loaded the 17 fish, that's part 1 finished. Okay, for part 2 we need 19 cooked fish, so we're going to head back down and start fishing again. For maximum permits, the key is to let the fire spread as much as you can. So if a double fishing spot spawns and you'd have to clear fires to reach it, I recommend just ignoring it. The top priority is letting the fires spread. If we have to catch all 19 fish using the regular spots, that's totally fine. Once you've got your 19 fish, we'll go and cook them. Be careful not to stand on any fires while you've got fish in your inventory, because it will likely cost you the run. I usually put out fires if they're too close, because if one spawns directly underneath you, you've barely got any time to react at all. Once you've got your 19 cooked fish, we can head back up to the cannon. Again, be careful, don't stand on any fires at this point, because it will end the run. I recommend standing in this spot between the 2 cannons when you're loading, because the fires can't spawn here. It's a safe spot. Once you've loaded all your 19 fish, you go down and attack the boss. And that's the end of part 2. Okay, part 3. Grab an inventory full of buckets, cast Humidify and fill them up, and then make your way over to the other side of the island. So now we want to clear a path through the fires, but try not to put too many out because you do want the fires to keep spreading while you're over the other side. In particular, try and leave the fire that's furthest to the west alone so it can continue to spread in that direction. If you accidentally run through a fire or 2 at this stage and lose some buckets, don't worry. As long as it's not fish you're losing to fires, it's totally fine. Again, try and leave the first fire you see on this side of the island because we want that one to keep spreading. Now clear out all the fires on this side of the island. I like to get this whole side cleared before I start fishing, because if you run into a fire while you're carrying fish at this point, it's more than likely going to cost you the run. Just keep an eye on the storm intensity as well, because you need to catch and cook another 19 fish for the next part. Okay, part 4. So with this side of the island cleared of fires, it's time to catch and cook 19 more fish. You want to take advantage of the double fishing spots when they appear because they'll speed things up. The timing can get a bit tight now, so just keep an eye on the storm intensity. You want to be up loading fish into the cannon no later than 95% really, because if it reaches 100% the run's over. So once you've got your 19 cooked fish, head up towards the cannon. Be careful not to stand in any of these fires because you'll lose fish, and at this point it'll probably be the end of the run. So load your 19 fish into the cannon. And then head back down and attack the boss once again. I like to bring it down to about 50% health now before moving on to part 5. Okay, so with Tempoross down to about 50% health, grab another inventory of buckets and cast Humidify. Now the fun begins. So what we want to do is clear out as many fires as possible while making our way back to the original side of the island. The more fires you can put out during this stage, the more permits you're going to earn. So I've got 2 quick tips for you. So the first one is try and position yourself in between 2 fires. And that way you can 1-tick douse them. It really speeds things up over the course of a run, and that'll mean more permits per hour. And the second one is normally the humidify animation will lock you in place for a couple of seconds, but you can avoid this by performing a red X action before casting it. So click on a fire before you cast humidify, and that way you can fill your buckets on the move. So if you put both of these tips together, it will really speed up your firefighting, and it will make a noticeable difference to your permits per hour. So make your way back to the original side of the island. Just keep an eye on the storm intensity as well, because we need to catch 2 fish for the last part. Okay, so now that we're back on the original side of the island, start clearing the fires, but keep a close eye on the storm intensity as well, because we need to catch 2 more fish to finish the round. You don't need to cook these fish, but you must have them loaded into the cannon before the storm intensity reaches 100%. I like to clear as many fires as possible before catching the 2 fish, because if you accidentally stand in a fire and lose your fish at this stage, it's practically game over, and we'd rather not throw it away at the very end. So now we've got the last 2 fish, we'll head up towards the cannon. We've got enough time to put these last fires out, but if the storm intensity is getting close to 100, don't worry about getting every fire. Load your 2 fish into the cannon and head down and finish the boss. And that's the run complete. So that's 18 permits for just under 12 minutes, which is about 90 permits an hour. Like I said, it's roughly double the permits per hour compared to the mass worlds, so it's well worth learning. I wasn't planning on making a guide, but since I'm currently locked here until I greenlog it for the series, I figured why not make hay while the sun shines. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're interested in seeing someone complete the entire game, feel free to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.